Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Hey, over this weekend, the game group, one of the guys there happened to print off some of the some copies of the Forgeworld fire rules that they just put up, and so I got my hands on one. And let's just say it was an emotional roller coaster of sorts reading through them. So I kind of wanted to review them with you guys. It's sort of a rant, but not a little bit, but not quite. So let's take a look. All right. As I read through them, though, the first thing I noticed is the biggest gripe our gaming group had about the new flower rules in Death from the Skies was the fact that attack fighters don't have the Skyfire rule at all. And we have a lot of military vets in our group, and all of us know that even ground attack aircraft are able to take out and deal with other flyers. Snap shooting doesn't make sense at all. So that was kind of a gripe we all had. We can understand how, a dedicated ground attack would maybe struggle a little bit, but that's more in the maneuvering, not on weapon accuracy at all. So we kind of felt bad. When I looked at these, I noticed that the rules that they came out with Forgeworld, it was a lot more than expected. It wasn't just a new stat line for all the different flyers they have. And believe me, I was very grateful that they put these out, because now I can use both of my flying circuses. I've got, out of my 6 tile flyers, is it 6? Yeah, out of my 6 tile flyers, 5 are Forgeworld. Out of my all 4 of my Imperial Guard flyers are Forgeworld, so I can finally use them. But they came up with 4 brand new, what they call them, combat roles. And as I read through them, I'm thinking, finally, they dealt with it, at least in a large part. Just hope that they make some modifications to the existing flyers. The first role they've got is Strike Fighter. Strike Fighter is kind of a new one. It represents a multi-purpose fighter. The ones that can attack the ground as easily as they can attack in the air. So they have Skyfire like the old classic, classic now. Look, the previous flyer rules. It can choose whether it fires Skyfire or not that turn. The second one they've got, I've got it right here in front of me, is Air Leviathan. Now all the super heavies, the massive ones, like the Thunderhawk, and I believe the Thunderhawk's one of the Manta, have this huge behemoth rule. Air Leviathan, it allows them some additional advantages in defensive fire capabilities and all that. The third one is Utility Craft, and this kind of fits Forgeworld because you've got a couple flyers that are not combat aircraft. Aquila Lander, the Argus Lighter, and the Sky Talon are the 3 that I noticed on the flyer list here. They're not combat aircraft. They're utility support craft, and they're not designed for combat. And so they have rules that reflect that. And then the last one is Interceptor. And this is really cool, because now they've actually one-upped the fighter rule. So there's fighters, bombers, and attack craft. Now they've got strike fighters, utility aircraft, air leviathans, and let's take a look at the rules. We'll just take the camera and just look at the document, okay? So okay, hope you guys can see this. Interceptors are cool. It actually takes fighters and puts them on steroids. And with strike fighters, air leviathan, utility craft, the negative is you can't do break turns, so they're not quite as maneuverable. Well, I'm okay with that. Interceptors are like fighters and can still do break turns, but they actually get at the beginning of the turn or the game, pick a fighter or combat role, and that combat role is what they get for an enemy against. So they get to reroll hits and armor penetration against it. It's fantastic. So if you get an interceptor, you're doing great when it comes to air combat again. So see, as far as the types, I was really excited. Now I'm going to be a little biased here because these are my flyers. They finally came with the Avenger is now a strike fighter, which is fantastic. Pursuit 3, agility 2, that's what to be expected. So, which is great. That means I can it's dual role, so I can engage my enemy fighters. Thunderbolt's a fighter which don't have it, but the Lightning is a strike fighter, so that's fantastic. I was excited about that because now I don't have to fire at a ballistic skill 2 against ground targets. That was my biggest worry. And I still was wondering, well, okay, they don't list the Lightning Strike Fighter, which is a special variant of the Lightning. And so later they actually come out with later in the packet, a download, there's actually updated rules. There are 3 flyers. The, what is it, the Night Shroud? No, sorry, the Night Shroud Bomber, the Thunderbolt, and the Lightning. They completely redid the rules on it. And this is where my heart kind of sank, because as I looked through, it still had Agile, which is great. I like that. That was one of the cool things I had about it. But they changed how you kitted it out. In the old rules, I used to exchange the long-barreled autocannon and get 2 bombs for free, and in the process pick up strafing run rule, and that's not here anymore. So no more ballistic skill 4 for me. And then worse is now I can take up to 6 tactical bombs on the regular fighter, or I can get rid of the long-barreled autocannon and pick up 6 missiles from either Hellstrike or Hellfury, or a combination, or drop the long-barrel autocannon and get 6 missiles like Sky Strike. Now that kind of started getting freaked out about that because, well, let me show you. This is my version of the Lightning. Okay, it has long-barrel autocannon and 2 what are las cannons. But I have this version to be the Lightning Strike Fighter. In the old rules, you drop the long-barrel autocannon and picked up 2 tactical bombs in the strafing gun rule, and you can get up to 6 bombs additional, which I would do. Now you can't get these bombs, but you can still get these 6, so I guess that's okay. But now I have to figure out, well, what am I going to do with these? I got to find a way to put up deploy up to 6 missiles on here. So I got to come up with. So I have to do some more work on an already completed model, and it bothered me a little bit because the cockpit arrangement is a little different on both. Two crew versus 1 crew, and I was a little upset about that. But I realized don't get too carried away, because this is very reminiscent of a lot of the modern jet aircraft, where we've got 2 crew, a pilot, and some operator of some sort, whether it's a system electronics operator or a weapons operator. So that's that. I guess it's not so bad. Just I got to now do extra work to come up with a mechanism by which to carry up to 6 missiles and 6 bombs. Not that I'll ever use it, but in the process, though, it made it all more expensive, because remember, I was able to get those initial 2 bombs for free. Now, if I want any bombs, it costs 5 points each. So it's a little bit not so good for me. So I was kind of bummed, and I just had this model completed. I was excited about it. Got to use it twice, and now there's new rules, and now I can't use it the way I had initially planned. So I'm a little bummed by that, especially since I can now use the regular fighter to take the 6 bombs, and which I guess I could have done before, but I don't know. But here's the neat thing about some of these upgrades. If I use the Hellstrike or Hellfury missiles, I turn it to a fighter. Now that didn't quite make sense to me, because the Hellstrike and Hellfury missiles are really ground attack weapons. They don't have the Skyfire rule, and Hellstrike is in strength 8. Oh no, strength 7. Yeah, strength 8 AP3. Good for tanks and other armored stuff. And Hellfury are strength 4 AP5, ignore cover, Burna type weapons. Why would that not be on a strike fighter or attack fighter even? And then but I guess the upside is you can change the combat roll to Interceptor with the Sky Strike missiles, which are Skyfire missiles. They're not ordnance, but they're strength 7 AP4, I think it is, or no, 3, I think it is, and that's actually with the Interceptor roll. That could be really vicious against the enemy. So with the 2 las cannons and up to 6 of those, that could do some real serious anti-aircraft damage. So that was actually kind of an upside, and I think I'm going to enjoy doing something like that. So now I've got some incentive to work on that. Some sort of weapon pod conversion so I can get my missiles on there. But one of the bummers, they got rid of some of my favorite upgrades, or I shouldn't say got rid of them, they changed them a little bit. I was looking at this distinctive paint scheme. It used to give you a morale bonus. Basically, you get to reroll a failed morale test once during the game. And unfortunately now, it basically changes it to that fighter that has the distinctive markings gains the flyer ace ability. So it's essentially, there's a special rule in the Death from the Skies expansion that you get to have in the dogfighting phase only. So I don't know if that's a lot of good, but at least they didn't change much of the other stuff. So all in all, it's not that bad. When I look at the, they do also come out with special rules you can have for Imperial Navy flyers, or the Marauder bombers and such. Even Eldar Corsairs special rules for their aces and such. Space Marines, there's 3 different chapters of Space Marines represented. Now, Tau fared really, really well on this one. At least I think so. The Barracudas are strike fighters, which is fantastic. I was worried they were going to make them fighters. And I use them strictly as ground attack, doubling as anti-aircraft. And they're vicious in both. So I get to keep it. That's really exciting. The Tiger Shark AX-1, it's a huge aircraft. I don't mind having the attack flyer rule where it snapshoots against, other flyers. That's okay. But the Remora drones, now that was really exciting because they are intended to be serve both roles in the fluff, and they acknowledge that here. So I'm able to use them in both ways I always do. Those are fantastic against all targets. See anything else that I saw here? Orcs. Actually, the Orcs kind of fared better. They've got some more variety now. The Fight-A-Bomber, now they have a strike fighter. And the Orc attack fighter is an interceptor. So whereas the Dakajet is a fighter, and the other 2 are bombers or attack flyers, they now get a couple more. So this helps round them out. Now there's a reason you want an attack fighter, which is a little bit more expensive compared to, for what you get than a Dakajet. And you get a Fight-A-Bomber, which is not a whole lot different than a Blitz-A-Bomber, just slightly different rules. But now there's a real good reason to get the actual Fight-A-Bomber because it's a strike fighter, allowing you to do multi-role. So I was pretty impressed. I was very, very pleased. I'm still kind of happy about it. So again, not bad. The rules are kind of complicated as you go through them. Now I don't have Death from the Skies yet, again, because we weren't going to plan on using these. Okay, so that's the general rules from the update. I was very glad to see them. I hope you kind of got a good sense of what there is. Go out to the site, download it. Even if you don't have Forgeworld flyers, it'd be a good idea to get those, the rules, and just see what's out there, what you go up against. I do know that there's, some of the flyers that Forgeworld's coming out with, especially for the Space Marines, there's really nice ones out there. And some of the 30K ones are out, or of course they're Forgeworld. These have the rules for them, so you will probably face them, even if you don't have them yourself. So bring them, get used to them, find out what you're going to be facing. Remember, always study your opponents as much as you study your own army. And I'll see you in the next video. Hope you'll find some useful out of this. And again, if you haven't already, share, like, and subscribe. Thanks for being with me, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.